there's a ton of mods available in Hogwarts Legacy right now, and more being added every day. But while some of them are cool, like flying on PS1 Hagrid or running around as a Dementor, not everyone is looking for that kind of experience. Like, those are fun, but I think most of hardcore Wizarding World fans are looking for something that truly enhances the experience, right? Like the dungeons, new quests, companions, spells, fresh challenges. So in this video, instead of just picking random cool mods, I've chosen 10 that when combined, create a fresh experience in Hogwarts Legacy that kind of feels like New Game Plus or even a DLC. Let's dive in. So the number one is Companions. Duh, this is the feature that has been cut out from Hogwarts Legacy a while back, and I believe it was unfinished. If you go to the Floo network, you can select all kinds of different companions. There's Sebastian, Natty, but also there are other NPCs like from stores. There's Augustus Hill, there's the Fat Lady, there's Rookwood. Now, since this is a mod, it's still a work in progress. Like, some companions don't fully function yet. For example, Fat Lady doesn't fight right now. She does a little karate moves, but she doesn't cast spells, only Protego. Same thing for Rookwood. Others do fight, and it's really handy. But I'm sure the modder is still improving it, adding proper animations, dialogues, etc. But right now, like, on one hand, it's cool that you're having a new person to walk with, to explore things. But on the other hand, they're just there, right? The only benefit you get from them is from combat. But the thing is, now comes another issue. Well, combat in Hogwarts Legacy, to some, is a cakewalk. To some part, it is to me. I still love it. I love the fast pace. But there's a different mod, for example, that changes the combat. It's a series of mods. Balance gameplay, balance enemies, and balance spells. For example, with spells, certain damage application has been reduced for some spells like Bombarda, Confundo. The casting time has been sped up, but then other spells receive a damage boost, like with Descendo, where an enemy hits the wall or hits the ground, it deals more damage. Also with spells, some cooldowns have been extended, others have been shortened. Some animations have been also sped up, like Expelliarmus, for example, happens really fast. And so it changes the choice of spells that you want to have during combat. Now, but when you pair it with balanced enemies, here enemies, they cast spells faster, they move around faster, they change up their patterns, they don't follow the exact same protocol every single time. Now, the combat is much more challenging with these specific mods. It's really tough because they cast faster, they can do multiple spells at the same, not at the same time, like one after another. They move around faster in general. They're smarter. They're not just, they didn't just become spell sponges. They're actually more difficult to defeat. And that is where the companions come really, really handy, because their presence, them casting those spells, it really helps out during combat. Now, I want to step away from combat specifically, but I will be back to it in just a little bit. But for example, if you want to do a run of Hogwarts Legacy from the beginning, there is a main quest balance, which raises the required level for you to access that quest. So for example, you're level 8 right now, and you just finished the previous main quest of the trial, right? And the next one, the next main quest only, becomes like from 8, now it's 15, right? So you're not going to be able to access this when it becomes available, when you're going to receive the owl. No, you will have to actually go out, do side quests, do whatever to upgrade yourself, and then you're going to be able to only access that areas. And so basically this way it encourages you to actually explore, do stuff out there. So by the time you finish the game, the entire map has been explored and everything has been found, and you fully can say, I've done it all. It really puts a nice twist on the progression. But the next up, going back to the combat, Decada Battle Pets. I mentioned it in my previous video, a lot of people have heard it. It's basically adding another companion during combat, but now this time it is a pet. The thing is, like, there's some I wouldn't say glitches, but when I saw the mod for the first time, I was expecting them to be running super fast, to be really active. The pets, I mean, they're not. They are kind of there. They're walking around and they cast spells time to time upon the completion of their cooldown. But it's still really cool. It's still handy. It is still nice. It is still having that little role play of Newt's commander using beasts in combat. The next couple of I want to mention their little enhancements. Again, it's not about that this single mod just changes your overall experience, but it's the combination where then you have different experiences in different aspects of the game. So this one is flying in Hogwarts and Hogsmeade. So Hogsmeade obviously has been banned. You know, there's an invisible wall. It's like there's a huge Protego over it. Now there is not. You can fly through Hogsmeade without any issues. Well, maybe sometimes some issues, some maybe tiny little glitches, but that's part of the mods. The same thing for Hogwarts. You can try to roleplay the Weasley twins as they were flying in the Order of the Phoenix and setting off fireworks. Right now I'm thinking about there would be a cool mod where you would get punished for doing that. For example, if you fly in a broom and you destroy something and then, "Detention, Mr. Potter!" Another one that I really like is the ability to get a second Phoenix, because in the game you can only get one and you cannot breed them. But now you can. Again, it's not a huge thing, but with the second Phoenix, the beastry feels a bit more complete, and you can actually have a whole vivarium filled with phoenixes. Next up, new spells. So this is fantastic. I made a video a while back about all the spells that were hidden in the code of the game. There's a huge list. I believe there's like almost 24. This particular mod only brings 2, the Confundo and Fiendfyre, which is the fire tornado. It's only 2 spells, but even with them, this is cool. Confundo does function kind of like Imperial, but it's still an awesome addition to your already existing arsenal. The only difference is that it doesn't appear in your inventory, so it's like it becomes like a combo. You have to hit either both, I'm talking about controller here, both triggers at the same time, or the right trigger and right bumper to do Confundo. But I'm 100% sure that all of those other spells that are hidden in the code of the game will become available to us for different mods. When I was talking about the different outfits, I do like all the new cosmetic stuff that comes with different mods. There's like the Durmstrang outfit. It's my favorite. I also love the Dementor look. Those are really cool. But also at the same time, I like when certain outfits are linked to certain like locations or quests. And that's why I like this next mod that basically invites you on a quest to hunt for a lost mannequin somewhere in Hogwarts. And once you find him, you get the new outfit. It's a small little thing, but I think it's really cool. And the last 2 are both dungeons, but they're very different from each other. So, Dungeon of Doom. It's not just a dungeon because it has its own map. It has its own environment. It seems like there's multiple dungeons within that dungeons. It's almost like you travel to a different area, and it's amazing. It's a different experience. You have these waves of so the idea was to make a Souls-like experience where in Souls games, in Elden Ring, for example, you have these catacombs to which you go to, and then there's waves of strong enemies you fight. But if you die, you are sent back to the entrance of that catacomb and you have to start over. You lose your items, you lose your stuff. That is the concept, and that is how it works. But the thing is, inside Dungeons of Doom, there's also platforming. There are ways you can fall and die, you can get stuck in, enemies are strong. So it's a really it's like a quest. It's a tough quest. But also the cool thing is that you have mini room of requirement. In that dungeon, there's like the 3 broomsticks, but you have the potion stations. You can weave traits. You can grow plants there. There's a guy who looks exactly like you, which is creepy as hell, but you can sell to them. You can go ahead and watch my video that I did. It absolutely broke me because the platforming is nuts here. It's like the Chamber of Secrets, Harry Potter on PC, but yeah, it's a unique experience. It's a fun one. I really like this dungeon. But for example, Sam's dungeon, that's a different experience because it's more like the dungeon that are called dungeons in regular Hogwarts Legacy. It is rather short, I want to say, but it is still, so it's, if you played Zelda Breath of the Wild, it feels like those shrines. There's some puzzles, there are little enemy opportunities, and then that's it. But you spend there like, I don't know, anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes, right? So it's not a big dungeon. After playing Dungeon of Doom, I was like, oh my god, I'm excited to do this dungeon now, and it looks beautiful, it's a new environment, but then it's over, and I'm like, wait, this is it? On its own, the Sam's dungeon is really short and small, relatively speaking, but it is a much better and more immersive experience than the caves that we have all around the Overland, where you just enter, you have a chest, and that's it. There's nothing more. So it serves as a nice addition to already existing dungeons and caves in Hogwarts Legacy, and it's just another one that's like, oh, this is really fun. So again, just like all of these mods, I believe, well, aside maybe from Dungeon of Doom, unbalanced enemies and spells, I think all of these spells on their own, they're just cool, and you try them once and like, okay, what else is on, right? But combined together, it creates a unique experience, and you can do a brand new run of Hogwarts Legacy and have a different playthrough from the playthrough you had before, whatever house it is. But of course, this doesn't end only here. There are many more other mods available in the game, and there are more mods appearing. Like, for example, you can do tricks now while flying on the broom. You can increase time of brewing of potions, you can increase time of plants growing, you can skip Merlin trials if you don't want to do them, you can skip Aloha More, you can skip intros. There's so many different things that you can customize, that you can enhance your experience all the way through. If you don't want to spend so much time gathering ingredients, if you don't want to do hunting for all those of all the money, you can just get Cheat Plus and get all of that, get invincibility. But again, the focus was on enhancing, on making sure that your next playthrough in Hogwarts Legacy will be different. Of course, don't forget to use some of these amazing looking outfit mods that they look so good. And why the hell not use some dragon broom or Dementor broom or dress like a Dementor? But definitely, guys, let me know if you do a brand new run of Hogwarts Legacy using these mods. I want to hear what is your experience has been. But guys, thank you so much for making it all the way back to the end of the video. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe button, and all the other buttons of that nature. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time.